Hey everyone, just want to let you know that I've made another Unity project available for free for you guys to download from itch.io. So it has the assets and the coding, and let's take a look at what you get. So you have a placeholder title screen here. Certainly you can change the naming to whatever you want, and the start button does work. And it loads in the first level. So it's a very simple gameplay loop. Basically, you circle strafe, that is, you walk around facing an object, and you are trying to destroy the castle. So you have the ability to fire like cannonballs at it. Want to point out a couple things. When the cannonball strikes the block, it flashes, and then two particle systems are created, a dust particle system and a debris particle system. And the block takes progressive damage. So first it's undamaged, and there's one level, then there's two levels of damage, then it gets destroyed. From a programming point of view, it's technically not taking damage. It's actually three separate objects, which I'll review with you in a minute. So very old school approach to the way damage is held, that you're actually replacing an undamaged object with a damaged object. The goal is you're trying to find the core of the structure. So it is just like a reactor, generator, magical power source, depending on what you want the structure to be. In this case, it's basically a castle. So it's meant to be some kind of magical power source, and once you shoot that, the castle would be destroyed, and then you move on to the next level. As you can see, there are defenses. So at the top, you have two wizards who shoot at you. Now, what happens is they track you up into the moment that they shoot. So they shoot, and if you're not moving, the shot will target you like that, okay? But the shots don't continue to track you. So so the wizards track you, but once the shot is fired, the shots don't continue to track you. So one of the reasons why I did that is so you can have a progressive difficulty system. So maybe at a later castle, the shots would track you as well. And then maybe on an easier level, maybe you could just have like four cannons, one in each direction, and they just fire out. They do not target you. They just fire out at regular intervals. So the whole idea is you're trying to create progressive difficulty. You don't want to have the best type of defense in level 1. You want to have it be progressively more difficult. And then maybe you have a dragon up here or something. And maybe for some of the levels, um, like we mentioned, the cannons firing. Maybe for other ones, there's something that shoots out fire, and then maybe it leaves a burning area for a few seconds, so you can't go past it. That you have to stay, away from it, something like that. So the idea is coming up with a progressive difficulty system. So what happens is when you destroy, like I said, there's like a core that you're looking for. Once you destroy that, it loads the new area. Not going to bother doing that at the moment because it would take actually quite a few minutes to get through the castle. And then I'll just load the other one. So that's level 1. That's level 2. We'll just jump right into it. In this one, the castle square, it's the same guys at the top, but as I said, that with them, you can always just replace them on your own. As I've said before, it's really not meant to be about the assets. I'm trying to do the programming for you. And then that way you guys can just either, if you're an artist, you can make your own assets, or you can purchase your own assets from the Unity store or from a contractor of some kind, maybe someone you know, whatever. And so this one is only one deep. So you can see there's like a glowing rod in there. So if it strikes, what's going to happen? There's only two levels, so it's just going to load the same level all over again. But the whole idea is that you would come up with different levels, different structures, and and what happens is it doesn't eventually what I want to happen is that there's like some kind of explosion or something when you hit the power source. Right now it just loads, so that is a little bit boring, kind of anticlimactic. It just only loads. At very least, I'll probably add a screen that says, you won, you beat it, whatever. And then you can always combine this with, say, a larger project. Like maybe you have a map-based strategy game where it's, trying to conquer a kingdom, that kind of thing. Let's see if I can even hit it from here. But anyways, so that's the idea, is that you would want to hit that glowing center. Now, one of the nice things is that every single brick is an instance of this brick. Now, why that matters is if you change this one prefab, every single brick will update. So if you add, say, a new material, a new texture, every single brick will suddenly update for you. That's the beauty of using a prefab. If maybe you decide that you don't like the way the damage looks, well, you'd modify this brick. It's kind of hard to see because it's so brightly lit here, but basically I just took some of the lines and facings and pushed them in, so nothing fancy. Same thing, just did it even more. So you change these individual cubes, and every single cube in the game will change. This is the combination of the two particle systems, so you get both a dust and a debris. So the dust is 2D, the debris is actually 3D, and gravity is applied to it. Like over here, gravity modifier 2, and the renderer, you can see that uses a mesh and a cube, so you could change what mesh is being used if you don't like the cubes. Here is the shot. So you could always change the color of this. So the material that this uses right now is just the default material. So what you could do is you could create a new material and maybe make it black if you want it to look like a cannonball, that kind of thing. And in later iterations of this, I'm thinking of adding multiple types of shots. Just again, if you think of this as the old block breaking games, maybe I'd create an explosive shot that would instantly destroy what it hits as well as destroys the blocks around it, things like that. You wouldn't want to give too many because I'd put it on easy mode. And let's see what else we have. The structures are actually made, not only are they made up of a single prefab, but I put the prefab into a pre-made ring. So you don't have to recreate the whole scene. What you do is you make one layer and then you just stack it. So if we go back to the scene, what it is, it's a layer. It's one horizontal layer just stacked. And as you can see, they're offset, so I made two. So we have that one and then the offset. And you can see the main difference is the corner here because the corner ends like that, whereas with this one, the corner ends like that it's pushed over to the side. Okay, so I think that's about it. You have HP up here. I kind of cheated. This is not a UI layer. This is actually right in the 3D scene. But what I've done is it's parented to the camera. So as the camera rotates, so does this. So it's constantly facing the camera. This does use post-processing. The only thing that uses the post-processing at the moment, well, there's a couple things. So to make the brick glow, so we have a mats folder here, that's this. So it has emission, HDR, and once you combine this with post-processing, then you get the glow. So everything you need to make the glow comes baked in here, but depending on what you're using as your core project, you're going to have to install post-processing, which takes like 2 minutes. You just go to Window, you go to Package Manager, and then packages for Unity Registry, you just go to post-processing. That's easy. So you install post-processing, and then the glow should work. Also, you could put this into outer space. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of time and effort put into the background, so you could get rid of the ground, the water, the little island here, and you put in, say, a sky background, not a sky, excuse me, a starfield background. And then you're effectively fighting like a alien ship. So you'd probably want to have something that looks a little bit more interesting than just a block. Maybe make it a darker color, maybe make a more complex material. make it look kind of like a printed circuit or something, but make it look a little bit more interesting. And then you could use the exact same code would be used for a spaceship. And then rather than having like wizards, you'd have like maybe drones or something. So again, it's about giving you the functionality and then you applying your own graphics to it. Because of the two, the programming, I believe, is the one that is more vexing for people. That there are many, many artists who have great ideas, but the programming is just really challenging. For me, it's just the opposite. I am not an artist. Things like Blender make my brain hurt, so I'm not an artist. So at least I can do this for you guys. I can get you the coding and the design, and then you can just replace it with your own assets. I've shown examples of where I've made a project and then how I integrated purchased assets from the Unity store. Okay, so I think I have rambled on enough. So again, this project is available for you at itch.io for free. If you wish to make a donation, that is greatly appreciated. It's a great way to support the channel because I really would like to remove ads from the channel. But if not, again, it's free and no donation is needed, no tip is needed. Okay, and one other update, the other free project I have on itch.io, I'll probably be doing one more update this month. I've added a winter level to it. I still kind of want to add some winter enemies like a snowman or something like that. And then that one will probably be done. That there probably won't be any more active development on that one. But at that point, it really doesn't need to be. These projects are meant to be very simple gameplay loops. Like maybe you would turn it into a mobile game, and as far as doing that, that's just doing the build. So when you go to build settings, literally you're just clicking on what are you making this for, and then when you do the build, it will build it accordingly. So it's just a matter of making it for Android and then tweaking the controls so it's touch sensitive. But again, this might be a fine PC or console game too. Some games like that, I've seen some of the budget games have very simple gameplay loops. So I hope that you find this useful and let me know if there's any features you like added to it. And please enjoy the rest of your day.